Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the Bug Warrior. If you think that farming Restless Rot or Fugitive Heads are the items to grind for this season, well, think again, because the real grind are gem fragments. Unlike last season, gem fragments are really hard to come by, so in this video I will show you that the best place to farm for gem fragments in season 7 are the new headhunt zones. Gem fragments have always been important to boost our characters' stats, but this season they are even more important and more valuable than ever, because you literally can't craft occult gems unless you collect massive amounts of gem fragments. As you know, there are 3 places where you can farm for gem fragments. These are Infernal Hordes, Nightmare Dungeons, and the new headhunt zones. I tried farming all these places and I ended up creating a spreadsheet where I recorded the time I spent at each place, the initial and final amount of gem fragments after spending a certain amount of time at each activity, and I added a column where I counted the total gem fragments earned during those runs. Alright, so let's begin with the Infernal Hordes. What I did is that I ran 10 wave Infernal Hordes. That took me 15 minutes to complete. Please consider that I'm not running with the best speed farming build at the moment, so I know this affects both the amount of ether that I can collect plus the time it takes me to get it. But in the end, it wasn't that terrible. I managed to get 706 ether by selecting mostly Hellborn options, and after I defeated the council, I skipped all loot, rewards and gold, and instead I cashed all ether into Obducite and gems. Infernal Hordes gave me 29,700 gem fragments total in the end. Next, I tried Nightmare Dungeons. As you know, Nightmare Dungeons are very different from each other, so there are some that it takes you between 3 to 4 minutes to complete, such as Ancient's Lament. Then you have the medium-sized dungeons that in average takes you between 6 to 8 minutes to complete. And last but not least, there are some dungeons that are really big to clear, such as the new dungeons in Nahantu, and those usually take more than 8 minutes to clear. Well, I ran all 3 types of dungeons to get an accurate result, or as best as I could, but take into consideration that there are many factors that change how many gem fragments you can get, such as if you did an event or not, if you found goblins, the amount of enemies killed, if you found the butcher, and more. Well, my best Nightmare Dungeons was the medium-sized dungeon, such as Caliban's Mine, and there I got a total of 12,300 gem fragments in 7 minutes. This means that if I would, in theory, run another dungeon similar to this one, I would get a similar number as well. That means I would be collecting around 25,000 gem fragments in the same amount of time as the Infernal Hordes. So you can see that it's still better to run Infernal Hordes. If you look at the spreadsheet, when I ran the small dungeons, I got 8,500 gem fragments, and when I ran the huge dungeon at Nahantu's Forge of Malice, I got 6,700, which was a really bad run considering the amount of time it took me to clear it. It was close to 10 minutes, and it had the least amount of gem fragments. Again, Nightmare Dungeons are very different from each other, but in general you can see that they are not as effective as a good run at Infernal Hordes. We reach our last contender, which are headhunt zones. These zones are fantastic. I was really shocked at the amount of gem fragments collected. As you will see in a moment, these zones are the place to be. At my first attempt, I ran for 15 minutes and stayed at the same zone. I killed a fugitive and I did as many whispers as I could, and that allowed me to get 3 whispers of the death caches. One of them a chaos cache. I also activated a cleansing pyre. I defeated 9 bosses, got 3 fugitive heads, and I ran with no elixir. That got me 43,300 gem fragments. On my second attempt, I decided to jump between zones, meaning that once I kill a fugitive, I would farm as many orange cocoons as I could, and then at the 7-minute mark, I would go to a new zone. Well, here I was unlucky and found no cleansing pyre. I got 3 whispers of the death caches, I killed the same number of bosses, and got 2 fugitive heads. This time I got 40,000 gem fragments. In my last try, I also switched zones at the 7-minute mark, but I found a total of 5 cleansing pyres. I find these are great since they spawn a lot of enemies and I can listen how the gem fragments drop. On top of that, I got 1 grand whispers of the death cache, I got 2 normal caches, and I was able to kill less bosses, 7 in total, and got 0 fugitive heads. However, this run gave me 61,600 gem fragments. You can clearly see that in the same amount of time, my worst run gave me 10,000 more gem fragments than Infernal Hordes, but the best one doubled the amount I got at Infernal Hordes. This is how I came to the conclusion that headhunt zones are better. On top of your gem fragments, you are also collecting Restless Rots. If you're lucky, you can find some fugitive heads, and all of that adds up to the endgame. I actually ran those times without the Draught of Whispers elixirs, so I imagine that if you use the elixir, it will be much better. We reached the end of the video. Please let me know what do you think. Does this make sense? Is this what you do? Do you have a better method? If so, please share with us. If you found this video interesting, please don't forget to comment, like, share or subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video.